Welcome back to another My Friggin' Movie Review. Today, your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to watch our latest non-spoiler review, where I'm going to be talking about
Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning, Part 1. Tom Cruise, of course, comes back as Ethan Hunt with his usual cast of characters to help him stop the bad guy. But in the 7th installment of the Mission Impossible franchise, they take it to the next level with all the stunts going higher and more dangerous, and of course the action getting more intense. It's actually kind of amazing that Tom Cruise still has that in him to where he can run at full speed and fight at full speed. Doing so in a way that actually makes me believe that he could beat those bad guys up. Now, in addition to his co-stars Rebecca Ferguson, Ving Rhames, and Simon Pegg, they now include Hayley Atwell. And for me, she kind of steals the show here. Her character is really interesting, and I like the way that she interacted with Tom Cruise throughout the entire movie. Let's not forget Esai Morales coming in as the villainous Gabriel. He's a great foil to Ethan Hunt, and the bigger picture seems very interesting. And I like that they have this ongoing, continuing story that's really started back in maybe Mission Impossible 4 and continuing now through here, and I can't wait to see where it goes with Part 2 of Dead Reckoning. But let's break down what makes this movie really sing. The big standout for me, of course, is going to be the over-the-top action with the amazing stunts that Tom Cruise actually did. On top of that, there's a whole bunch of character development for each of the characters that are part of this film, at least for the most part. There's a couple that got a little shafted. Now, of course, with any Mission Impossible movie, the main thing that's going to catch your attention is the crazy stunts. And we've all seen the videos of Tom Cruise doing parachuting and jumping this motorcycle off. But when you see it here, you need to see and experience this one on the biggest screen possible. So if you have an IMAX, an XD, a Prime one, or whatever type of big screen, loud surround sound system your theater has, then that's where you're going to want to see it. So if you're on the boat of like, I don't know, maybe there's been too much Mission Impossible, it's kind of like over now, he's getting too old, look, forget that. This movie is a ton of fun. I even had my boy Peeps with us, and he was not even excited to see this movie, and we walked out, him even saying, I enjoyed that more than I expected. So if they can win over some people that aren't looking forward to it and still make a good movie to have a good time, then this is probably one that you will also have a good time at. And look, it's not all action. Of course, in the spy drama, there's the twists and the turns and what's the plan and what's going on. I will note though, this might be a negative, but it does shift over a little bit more sci-fi than I was really expecting. Now, normally Mission Impossible films, they have gadgets and gizmos that are real high tech, but this takes it up to a little bit of the next level. So some folks might not like that aspect, but I think the fun of the action and actually a lot of comedy kind of make up for some of that along the way. Especially since they don't take themselves so seriously and kind of even wink at themselves along with some of the kind of jokes that are thrown in there, where the characters themselves acknowledge how crazy and ridiculous these scenes are and what's happening with them. Oh, and when it comes to a part 1 of 2, these types of films usually end on a massive cliffhanger and leaves you feeling like the story was not resolved. I think they actually did a pretty good job with this, of giving it its own beginning, middle, and end, but also leaving the door open for the next one to really finish the overall bigger story. But I like the chase that happens here and the search for the one item that they're looking for, and it felt like I got closure on that, while again leaving me in suspense and a feeling of I can't wait till the next movie comes out. And again, apart from the overly sci-fi aspect that I mentioned earlier, the only other negative component that I can even think of is at the very beginning. The opening sequence felt a little long. I thought that, I didn't know what was going on, and so that was bothersome. Now, at the end, when they kind of explain what's happening, then it made sense. But in the moment of that beginning scene, I was starting to get a little worried, but quickly get out of that once we get going with the mission. So if you couldn't tell already, when it comes down to ratings, I enjoyed this so much and had an absolute blast. I couldn't have been happier walking out of the theater. For Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1, I'm gonna have to give this one a solid 5 stars out of 5 because I enjoyed every aspect. It was just so much fun. So if you end up accepting this mission, going out to the theater and checking this one out, I'd ask that you follow up and let me know if I'm friggin' right or I'm friggin' wrong. Oh, and I almost forgot, this message will self-destruct in 5 seconds. Just kidding, we're okay.